All right, guys, welcome back to Forgotten Popcorn. It's been a while since we've done a podcast-style episode. I think the last one we did was in June. We talked about Christopher Nolan a little bit.
The live stream.
A little live stream. Maybe we'll try that again in the future. But today we're talking about John Wick, the franchise that grossed just around $500 million at the box office, give or take a couple thousand, 100,000 maybe. The man who killed somebody with a pencil, the one and only John Wick. My goodness.
Boy. Yeah. I mean, they're what they're supposed to be, right? Just brainless action, go and don't think too much. And I guess we'll have a good time.
It's honestly fun movies, though. Very, very fun movies. I don't know. I mean, we're obviously going to get into it, but these John Wick films are something that, like, you kind of just have to go see. It's like you just see them and you're like, okay, I just want to go to theater, enjoy myself, just watch fucking action.
Interesting.
Just go watch.
Okay. Well then, but that's a good start. Like, my question to you then is, it's such a simple movie. It's so straightforward. Like, really, we talk about really straightforward movies that, like maybe even Top Gun Maverick is a pretty straightforward movie. The story has, very little, like moral compass behind it. It's really just an entertaining movie. John Wick, though, all of them, like, yeah, the story evolves over the 4 movies, but realistically, it all starts because he lost his dog. Like, come on, grow no.
But yes, come on, grow up. Like, you talk the story evolving. Like, yeah, they world build a bit, I guess, with the whole underground scene. It gets crazier and crazier and crazier with every movie. But it's such a, like, I don't want to say stupid scenario, but it kind of is.
To be fair though, like, bro, if my like dead wife or dying wife like gave me a dog and it's like the only thing I have to remember her by, and then they blow up my house on top of that in the second movie, I'd be like fucking pissed too. Like, bro.
I mean, yeah, but to make 4 movies, sure, John Wick 1, fine, make it a standalone. 4 other movies and they become 3 hours long.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
The last one's like, what, 2:49, I think?
Yeah, it's extremely close to the 3-hour mark, to the point where even I was going, all right, let's wrap this up already.
Yeah.
Especially in a franchise that was sort of started off under the 2-hour mark and then slowly built past it, and then went to like 2:10 and then 2:30-ish, and then, 2:49, 2:50, I think it was. Like, it's just too long for a film like this. I really think for our first one, very straightforward, very simple. And my question to you guys was, the simplicity of John Wick, does that make it that much easier to just sort of enjoy it and, come in and watch a movie like this where you really don't have to have prior knowledge or even need to know anything while you're watching the movie, really?
I mean, 100%. Like, you could literally just watch the 4th one, and, like, even though you don't know what's happening or, like, his past or anything like that, you kind of get in. You get the gist of it. You see him kill a bunch of people and, like, do a bunch of stunts, and it's fun.
If you're fine with sitting down for 3 hours and just watching mindless action without knowing anything about any character, go for it. You'll have a good time. Like, it's what the movie is meant to do, and it does it well. That's why they talk about having, like, a whole stunt, like a stunt team Oscar, right? Is because of movies like this, because they do it so well and they're not really recognized. So if that's your thing, yeah, go for it. You'll have a great time.
100%. Honestly, it's like, I feel like you're speaking on the, like, just the right thing, because, like, I think the stunts what really carry a movie like this. I mean, you're seeing him in the last one fall down of what, like, fucking 30,000 stairs, and then, like, you also have him going through motorcycles and, like, actually, closing off a bridge just so that they could actually do a motorcycle scene, and, like, like, he does his own stunts, like Keanu Reeves. He does, like, 90% of them, like, the actual guns and, like, the actual, like, knives and stuff like that. Well, they're not real, but, like, he does the actual movements and stuff. I think it's pretty sick when you actually, like, look into that, and then you watch the movie, and then you're like, okay, it's mindless action with, like, a twist of, like, fun movements.
Yeah, it's done well.
Yeah,
it is done extremely well, and that sort of falls into another question I have. If this movie does anything, it sort of brings possibly a new sort of aspect to the action genre, and it's sort of the first time we've seen sort of a movie that's purely just action the entire time with like, again, really no story behind it, and it's very entertaining from that perspective. So my question is, what kind of changes do you think it made? Have you seen other movies sort of follow suit in terms of how much action they're willing to put into a movie? Like, we all have, there are movies made by the same directors. I won't count those. Like Nobody with
That's what I was gonna bring up. Yeah.
That one actor.
Better Call Saul.
Yeah,
What's
oh
his
man,
name?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
But
that guy.
I give up, but yeah, I know.
it's gonna come back to me randomly.
Yep.
But yeah, he's Nobody was same director, small budget, and a also very short movie as well. It's like an hour 30 or something like that. Still fun to watch. Same concept though, exact same concept. Very little story background behind him, and he goes off and just kills everybody.
Only same concept, literally like same story.
Yeah.
I honestly, as you were talking, I remember this movie that I watched a while back. It's called The Raid, and it's like an Asian movie. I don't know exactly which part of Asia, but it's basically a bunch of policemen that go into this like hotel or like this like, it's not a hotel, but like whatever, it's like condos or whatever, and it's owned by mafia, and a bunch of just police officers just go in, and then they get locked in there, and they have to fight their whole way through like all these levels. And this one guy who's incredibly like talented and did like all the stunts himself is like fighting off like 30 guys each floor, and it's crazy. It's like action packed, and it's like early 2000s or something like that, which honestly I feel like it kind of like, when you want something jam-packed action, you watch something like that. You watch something like John Wick. Like John Wick might have a bit more of a story than The Raid, because The Raid is literally just, hey guys, we're here. Literally, it starts off with them literally in like a truck going into the hotel, and like, or whatever it's called, and you just see them being like, okay, we're gonna go raid this place. That's it. No backstory. You just see them go in and just start fighting like crazy, and like that's pretty much the whole movie. And honestly, if that's what you like, that's what you like. It's sick. Like, I mean, I won't lie. The whole time I was watching the movie, my adrenaline was like sky high. Because like they got the music, they got like the sound effects, they got the movements. They're going fast. They're like hitting each other, and really good stuntmen. Really, really good.
That's the thing. If you can pull it off well, not just have good stunts, but if you can have the good sound, the good like camera work, because like you can see in John Wick, the camera work becomes like increasingly better with every stunt team, every stunt set, I guess you could say. It gets better and better with each movie. Like in this last one, they have like the overarching camera following him room to room for like what felt like 7-8 minutes nonstop action. Like when you have stuff like that, it's really impressive to do. But if it's just like the most simple thing, no matter how short your movie is, personally, it won't land. So like, to me, these John Wick movies, they start off okay, and then they just don't really get that much better other than this John Wick 4, where the stunts were like a whole other level.
I'm actually going to disagree, but just because like the John Wick 4 was, in my opinion, the quote unquote like worst one. In my opinion, I didn't like it as much. Like, yes, there was crazy stunts, but other than stunts, that's all it had, I find.
Yes.
It's like,
sure.
I feel like if they ended at the third, it probably would have been a perfect ending, just like that, or just like not maybe like obviously kind of like closed it, because like if it ended just like that, you would have been like left with an open-ended movie. But if they finished it off with a third, I think it would have been a perfect little trio of a movie, But
That's fair.
I did not like the fourth one. Did I enjoy it? Yes, it's action. Did I have fun?
That's fun. Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, Alex, what do you think?
No, I was just so enticed by what you were saying. I got lost. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously that's what John Wick is, right? And to push further and further with it to try to, make a bit more money at the end of the day for them. Yeah, it's a risk that you're willing to take, right? Maybe you'll make more money. Maybe you'll kind of flop. Yeah, I don't think John Wick 4 is the most well-received one of the series. Of course, it's really hard to come off of 3, which is considered probably one of the best of the franchise. So, at least maybe for me. But, it's hard to follow up those types of movies always, regardless, right? And, going back to the, sort of how they've improved over and over again, it felt like, in 4, they were certainly pushing it to see, like show what they have, what they got, where they, all the work that's been done. The groundwork was laid. Let's have fun with this one is basically what I saw from it. But even then, yeah, for a movie like this, pushing 3 hours is testing your patience of that sequence. You mentioned earlier. He gets up the stairs, then he falls right back down the stairs, and I'm just thinking to myself, shit. Please hurry up. Like, not because, oh my God, you're on a deadline, you have to be there for the duel. No, just like, please, just like, can you hurry up? Like, can we cut this? Like, this is a little bit much for me. It's testing the patience of even, I love the John Wick series. My father, I went to watch it with him for the very first one, and even I came out of that like talking about it. I was like, this is the greatest movie ever, yada yada yada. And he's like, you're a psychopath. So I was like, okay, it's like it was unique at the time. But I feel like, yeah, the more you do of it, the more as you reach number 4, you kind of get a little bit tiresome of it. And I don't know what the gap year between the third one and the fourth one was. Oh, it wasn't. Okay. Actually, the gap between all of them is not that bad. It starts in 2014, 2017 follow up, 2019 for the third one, and then 2023 for the fourth one. So they're pretty even.
It was probably delayed due to COVID too.
Yeah, it probably would have come out in 2022 maybe.
Yeah.
2021. Was it delayed? I don't know, to be honest.
It for sure was. Even if they don't say it, like for sure they couldn't like
everything got impacted
everything
in that
got
time
impacted
period
for everything.
Yeah.
But like you brought up a good point, which was like they're making these movies to obviously make money out of it, right? Because at the end of the day, right, like I think the fourth one was the only one that was pushed for IMAX, and like that's the premium, premium seating that everybody wants to see nowadays. It's like they don't make movies like they used to before because they used to get revenue out of like DVD sales, DVDs, 4K, steelbooks, whatever, all that stuff. But like nowadays, it's like they don't make much revenue out of it. It's like it's only like a tiny little push at the end. It's only just for like the consumers that actually like it. But like for box office stuff, for their numbers, they only just want people to be there for like the high premium seats, theaters, and that's it. It's like honestly, I think that's probably mostly the reason why they made a fourth one, to be honest. Because like
they knew fans wanted another one.
Yeah,
fans they'll make a 5th and a 6th, and they'll just keep making them, and people will keep going to the theater to see them. Especially on a big screen, like why wouldn't you want to see insane action on the biggest screen possible? So as long as fans are there to watch them, they will keep milking them out for sure.
100%. And like, didn't they make a show too or something like that?
Yeah, there was a show on HBO or Paramount or something. I don't know. Lionsgate, do they have their own platform? I don't know. But
about the Continental.
Yeah, it's about the Continental. So it follows a young Winston. What was it called? The Continental, I'm pretty sure.
Probably.
Yeah.
It was on Amazon. That's what it was on.
Prime.
Okay, yeah, that
it was
makes
on
sense.
Prime, yeah. Got a 7.2 rating on IMDb, which isn't too bad. I really don't. I remember the hype for it, but I really don't remember the outcome or the.
I remember everyone on like TikTok and stuff was talking about it right before it came out, and then it came out, and it kind of just I didn't see anything about it.
I mean, it was more of like a mini series. It has 3 episodes. I'm assuming they're about an hour each.
Okay,
so
yeah.
It was like a really quick, fill in the gap, sort of like in case you were wondering, sort of thing. Probably in a setup for Ballerina.
That's what I was gonna say.
So they're getting geared up for that. I think that might have gotten delayed a little bit from what I think
it's next year, 2025.
Yeah, I think it's 2025. I think at one point it was supposed to come out this year. I'm curious to see. I don't really have a lot of faith, I'll be honest, in this one, to be honest. We don't know if... Okay, so obviously you guys watched all the movies. If you haven't watched all the John Wicks, then you should. Spoiler alert, I guess, but you really should have watched it by now. John Wick dies, technically, supposedly,
Does
as
he?
all these companies do these days.
Wait, he died? Okay, sorry.
Get out. No.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's like, okay, so did he die, did he not die? We don't really know. He should have probably, It was I'll give credit to the way that they ended it. That was pretty cool. He took the shot. He basically put himself at risk of dying before he could even finish the job, which was pretty cool. I'll give the creativity for that, for the writing. The whole concept was stupid, but the whole series is kind of stupid for that matter. But going back to Ballerina, yeah, I'm not really sure how I feel about this yet. I think it'll be good, but I have a bad experience with Ana de Armas in action movies. so that's it's not just Ghosted. There's other movies too, but like
James Bond, she was fine.
But
in
she was
James
good in
Bond.
James Bond,
Yeah.
but she wasn't
That's true.
the main
No.
role in that. Like she was very good when she showed up, but that's what concerns me. So, but she's a good actress, so should be fine, and we have faith.
Is that same director as well? Is it still Chad Stileski?
It says by Len Wiseman.
Honestly, if they just put in the same kind of work that they did for the stunts, it should kind of work out.
It will be fun.
It will be
right?
fun,
It's
exactly.
What we're
Yeah.
saying. It's,
If they're not throwing in as much work into the stunts and they're trying to build a good story for it, that's not what these kind of movies are for. You know, like, I mean, did they work a little bit on the story to create a Continental, to create, you know, like a whole hotel and all that stuff and like the high table? Yes. But is it intricate and like something that people go there for? No. Honestly, if they're just trying to make a story for the ballerina, it's like, bleh. But like if they're gonna work on the stunts and like do crazy stuff, then I mean, go for it. For all means, that's what we want to see, right? It's like Top Gun Maverick. People are going there to see like jets flying in the air, like actual jets, you know, and not like people in CGI, you know, flying jets.
What are you talking
You
about?
know?
Devotion the same year was great. What are you talking about? Devotion was just
Boy.
as good.
Oh,
Come
was
on.
it?
I
Oh wow.
completely forgot that movie even existed.
That's a tough sell. Imagine doing that. Yikes. Fucking
Especially-
CGI and
especially,
real
like,
in the
literally
same
a few
year.
months after
Yeah.
Maverick.
Yikes.
Like,
And wasn't it like two of the same actors from Top Gun Maverick in it?
Glenn Powell.
Yeah, Glenn Powell's in both
Glenn
of them,
Powell and like one of the backup drivers in the back, no, or something like that.
I don't think so.
I have no clue. That movie
Now
has
I'm
been
curious.
completely
I do
erased
remember
from
watching
my memory.
It's not a terrible story. It's actually quite.
Well, it's a true story, right?
It's a true story.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite fascinating, but it's hard to. Thankfully, like the flying aspect of it isn't necessarily important to the story, and that's why it kind of worked out in their favor. I don't recognize any of these names, so I'm gonna say no, there wasn't, except for Glenn Powell. Anyways, back to
Very
John
off
Wick.
track.
Sorry.
It's a podcast.
My
We talk
bad.
about whatever. We'll do an episode at some point where we just yap about current events and things like that. You know, shit on Marvel a little bit.
Oh.
Go check out the video on the channel. No, all jokes aside, yeah, John Wick. I mean, 4 movies, almost $500 million at the box office. Pretty good. I think in total, from what I saw, they more or less made all their money back, so there wasn't any issue there in terms of worrisome. 14 million for the first movie, 14.5 million for the first movie, made 43. 30 million for the second movie, made 92. 56 million for the third movie, made 171. So they started to really see their return there. And then 73 million for the latest movie, and then 187 in return. So similar return to the third one.
Those numbers sound so low to me.
For
I thought it made so much more than that.
Honestly, I feel like I'm just so used to hearing like crazy big films that I'm just like, I would expect it to be higher too.
At least the fourth one, I feel like it was a pretty big thing in theaters.
Yeah, I remember hearing it all over the place, especially like IMAX was talking about it, like Dolby was talking about it. Everyone was promoting it and advertising it. It was crazy.
Oh. Okay, I just want to call out Box Office Mojo for being a total ass website real quick. For whatever reason, in their infinite wisdom, they gave me lifetime gross. Cool. Yeah. Domestic.
Of course.
Nice.
Of course.
What the
Nice.
fuck? Still, I mean, point still stands for domestic, but
So it's about double, let's say.
it's about double for all of them,
Okay.
roughly.
Still.
It was still popular. So, okay, it made 500 million domestic, and then it probably made $1 billion now easily.
the fact that the whole
Okay.
franchise.
That makes a bit more sense though to me, honestly. Because John Wick is like, it's just straight up action, right? If for straight up
Okay.
just action,
It
that makes sense.
it might not have made actually $1 billion. I think it only made like 7.
Oh.
Still more, but not far off of what I was saying before.
Mhm.
Because the only movie that really took off internationally was the last one. That's the
Because
one
of
that did
Paris.
very well. Yeah. So it did.
For
It did
sure.
253 million compared to 187 domestic. So it did here 57% of its a total 440 million. But the rest of them, it's the opposite for the rest of the movies. So, sorry, we have a cat in the studio. It might show up at some point. She might show up at some point. Where'd you go? Anyways, John Wick did not go after anybody for a cat. Only a dog.
Only a dog.
Which is funny. What a concept. Really, really funny
so
movie.
ridiculous.
I remember, honestly, I feel like this movie just came out with so many good memes. And like, especially because like Infinity War was coming out at a similar time too, especially like with Infinity War Endgame, you know, with the second or third movies. I remember everybody saying like, "Oh, just give Thanos like a dog and then kill the dog,
Yeah.
and then John Wick will be there." And all of a sudden, it just created so many memes all over the place because of it.
There was
Well, hello.
There you
Hello,
go.
Kat.
Kat is joined the podcast. Welcome. So, what do you think about John Wick?
Same.
I
Nice.
agree. Yeah, that's a good opinion. Yeah, Alvaro's wrong about his opinion. As my cat settles in for the rest of the episode, probably. I wanted to ask you guys about, well, we've sort of answered some of these questions I had pre-talked about, but I wanted to talk about something that I think might take a little bit of time to talk about. It's not particularly John Wick, but it's Keanu Reeves. If anybody is new to the channel or has been around for a little bit, if you've watched any of the recent episodes, the recent ones that have been up are a lot of conversation about sort of the actors themselves and a little bit of what they represent in Hollywood and sort of what they portray sort of in their own lives and what they mean to, you know, the viewer and things like that. Because we talk a lot about, you know, people kind of lose their mind when certain people, you know, are attached to actors or whatever, and they feel like, or celebrities, I should say, and, you know, people think that's crazy. You shouldn't, you know, put your entire, you know, personality behind a certain person, but there are people who do it. And we pray that, you know, hopefully those people are good people and their intentions are good. So, you know, no harm, no foul. Keanu Reeves is a unique person. We all know his story. We all have heard of the unfortunate and tragic life that he's led and sort of what he represents in Hollywood. So I wanted to ask you guys how important he is to just what Hollywood is in general. And, you know, I'll leave it there and I'll let you guys answer.
Well, I mean, honestly, like, dude, I remember hearing so many different things about him getting, you know, a pay cut on Matrix, him taking the subway to work, him, like, you know, just having, like, a really just, like, humble life, as especially, like, an actor that's made, like, for sure millions of dollars, you know, throughout all the movies that he's done, especially really famous ones like Matrix, like I mentioned earlier, now John Wick, you know, a bunch of other stuff. But I find it's obviously very nice to see and very comforting to see, especially somebody with so much influence as celebrities have these days. Like, I mean, there's other actors out there like Ashton Kutcher, for example, you know, who like advocate, you know, like help to other people or in need whenever he does have space on screen. But like Keanu Reeves, I feel like is the type of guy that just like, well, from what I've seen anyways, like just doesn't like the screen. He's a very like, I think he says it once, he's a very man's man. I think in a conversation he has with like Norman Reedus, where he's like just, yeah, when he's like just driving his motorcycle, he loves his motorcycles. He's a very humble, chill dude. And I think that's something that it'd be nice to see from more celebrities. Like, it's very comforting, I find. But obviously it's like, I mean, when you have money, right? Like, I mean, people are going to do what they want. But it's just, it sucks because it probably came from all the hardships that he's had. That he's kind of nice like that. Because, I mean, he's probably put himself in his own shoes and is like, if somebody else was in my shoes, right, what would they do? But I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think, Will?
And you kind of hope, like you said, you hope that it's real, what we see. Because then we can get kind of like a Will Smith kind of situation where it's like, oh, you think he's this like really nice guy, and then the Oscars thing happened. And then the image is just flipped the next day. Everyone's like, oh, but is Will Smith really a nice guy? Like, he was one of the like Hollywood's faces, right? So like, you hope it's real. I hope it's real. Because like you said, the pictures on the subway and stuff, it's like he's just there minding his own business with a hat, like not disturbing anyone, hoping he doesn't get disturbed. He's just living his life. There's a lot more actors that are becoming like that nowadays. And I think it's cool to see. 'Cause like Tom Holland's also kind of doing that. He was like, obviously he's Spider-Man, so he was everywhere. And then he went like, whoa, I don't like want all this attention. He fully backed away from Hollywood. Now he's like sober and stuff. So I think it stems from stuff that Keanu, and like he also made a video on Jim Carrey, who's kind of doing the same thing. So
Who's a
like
communist, apparently.
he's a communist, of course. So like we can't really.
The commenters know that I very much read that. Just want to point that out. I'm very aware. We'll do an episode where we just read through some of the crazy comments that we've received from some people. Some of them are pretty good. Some of them are a little out there, but you know, I always say that you know, just if you want to say something, say it. Your opinion is valid as long as you're not being rude or, you know, racist towards anybody. So some of you have failed. I just want to point that out. Some of you have failed, unfortunately. But yeah, Keanu Reeves. I mean, he's a great guy from what we can tell. You know, I talked about in a video a couple days ago about Robin Williams and about how we can feel so attached to these people, yet we've never actually met them and we've never spoken to them for even a second. And Keanu Reeves seems like a guy who you could just talk to pretty genuinely without really feeling like, you know, you get that like sort of like that star aura. Sometimes you get nervous around, you know, really popular people and you're just like, oh man, like, you know, what were they gonna think if I, you know, fuck up my lines or whatever. But like him, I feel like you could just like talk to him and it would be fine because he's just like doesn't have that, you know, sort of Hollywood way of responding to things, and he's just a normal guy. He's just a normal dude who decided to be in the Matrix somehow, some way.
It's like honestly through like a bunch of interviews too that like you hear about people talking about him or like working with him. It's like everyone just has nothing but like great things to say, you know. So it's like it kind of just like builds on to that like image that you made in your head. But
yeah, he's great. I'll ask you guys this. Another video that went up is about Keanu Reeves. I think hopefully a few of you who are listening to this came from that video. But talking about sort of the fake Keanu Reeves that was on TikTok, that was pretty active for about 2 years. It was a re-render of Keanu Reeves and just, you know, mimicking, just doing fun like TikTok, mimicking like just dances and like it's pretty harmless things, but pretty crazy to sort of put Keanu Reeves up there, even though you're not actually him. And, you know, because Keanu Reeves doesn't use social media, it's one of his, like...
Keanu Reeves doing TikTok dances.
Yeah. It's very strange. I mean, to the keen eye, you could definitely immediately look at it and go, yeah, that's not him, very easily. But there are people out there who don't have that sensibility, and they'll just believe what they see, unfortunately. I don't know, I've never asked you guys what you thought of like that sort of scenario of like just basically taking a celebrity's identity, could be yours for that matter, you could show up, who knows, and just putting it out there. Like, what is somebody in the comments under that video said something like, you may not like it, but it's technically not illegal, something along those lines. Like, it may be immoral, but it's not illegal, so they did nothing wrong. What do you guys think?
Is it illegal? I guess not, but like, come on. Something doesn't have to be illegal for you to like use common sense and be like, I probably shouldn't be doing this. Like, especially someone that has, it's for the clicks though, right? You get someone who's very recognizable and you just plop into anything, make him say whatever you want, and you'll get overnight popularity on TikTok. It's ridiculous, but it's the world we live in now, right? So
yeah, it's a bunch of like, especially with AI changing everything, and like honestly, like celebrities are so easy to use because they're so photographed, right? So there's so many images of them, and like they can grab all these different angles and put it on their face, and especially if you look a little bit similar, it makes it easier for them. It's like I've seen deep fakes of like Tom Cruise. It was on TikTok too. That was a whole thing. And like I feel like honestly, if you're saying you're a deep fake, then like it's fine. But if you're saying you're not a deep fake and you're doing all this stuff, then like that's when it can like kind of cross the line. Because obviously there's people, like you said, Alex, that like don't have that eye that can see it, right? So it's like all of a sudden, then people are saying, oh hey, why is, you know, Keanu Reeves just dancing and like twerking or something like that? I don't know the kind of videos that were posted, but like it kind of changes the image of that person, right? So it's like, yeah, even though it's harmless and I guess it might be legal, but like it kind of just changes the image of the person. It's like if you're deep faking them for a reason, like why, right? There has to be a reason why, for sure. I mean, obviously for clicks, it could be one of them, or if you just like don't like the person or want to change their image, that could be something else. But poor Keanu, I guess. I don't know. Yeah.
No, you make a fair point. Like if you say straight up, this is fake, I am not Keanu, like it kind of changes it, because then it's really just for like the skit. And
Yeah.
it's not to tarnish Keanu. So that's an interesting point.
I remember with the Tom Cruise deepfake, at first his videos were being taken down, like on TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that. And then he pretty much got like a watermark across the front that kind of said like deepfake or like at the bottom or something like that. But he still put on the actual video, this is not Tom Cruise, or like deepfake Cruise. You know, like he had to change his name or had to change like stuff to actually show that it's not him. Because people are actually believing like a lot of it.
Some of them are like pretty convincing.
Yeah,
even
they're
though you
crazy.
said like, oh, not everyone has like the trained eye. Even with a trained eye, it can be like, it can take a second or two to be like, whoa, is that like, you have to like really look at it for a sec.
100%. There's so many filters on your phone you can just turn on, and like it just changes you. But like, anyways, I feel like honestly, just like it just changes the image of the person that like, that like for example, there's people that aspire to be someone like Keanu Reeves, and all of a sudden,
Like John Wick, you were gonna say.
oh yeah, I was gonna say John Wick, yeah. But there's people out there that probably aspire to be kind of like Keanu Reeves. I was about to say it again, but you know they want to have like a nice life, but a humble life too. And like all of a sudden, seeing him dance on TikTok, and they're like, oh, you know what? I don't want to be like this guy anymore. You know, it's like I feel like is as long as you promote that it's a deepfake and it's not actually the same person, then like it might just be okay. But that's just my hot take, I guess. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah. What do you think, Alex? Well, I mean, you already made a video
Yeah.
about it. Never mind. Sorry.
No, I was just curious because
Yeah.
like it's such a weird like sort of point to be a celebrity where, especially if you're up and coming, you know, you're getting so much press, everybody's looking, you know, they're watching your career grow, and then there's like possibilities of things like this occurring where like, yeah, you may not be able to tell if it's actually the actor or not. And especially younger actors too, like Keanu, okay, like he's 60 I think now. It's like he doesn't look it obviously, but like, yeah, unlikely that he's like making TikTok dances. But like if it was someone like, you know, Chalamet or like Austin Butler for some reason, you know, so like then they'd be like, oh, well, that's weird. And then you know, you start to think, okay, like this doesn't seem right. And so that's, yeah, I'm not good with it. I think it's stupid. I think people shouldn't be using the likeness of actors and real people for that matter. You can do cartoons, I guess, if you want, but that's fucked up too. Like just don't do anything. How about that? Just don't
pretend to be someone you're not.
Yeah, don't exactly. Be authentic. Be Keanu. What the fuck? Literally,
Be Keanu.
literally the whole point of this. Like, what the fuck?
Honestly, though, but like, if let's just say, I mean, I don't want to get too into it, but like, if I were to create like an algorithm that, you know, took all these pictures and I did all the work to get this AI to work and do it, I'd kind of want to show it off, right? So like, it just
It becomes
there's a line,
I
right?
guess, right? It's AI art at this point. I don't know.
There's definitely a line to cross, and like,
Is it okay? But that's funny because there's so another video on the channel that I talk about AI and talking about how like it has sort of evolved into this thing where it's become sort of second nature to use it now, and people are so you know, attached to using it like a calculator or whatever it is. It's, you know, it's useful for a lot of things. I'll give it that. I've used it to review you know, essays and things like that for me, you know, and those are very useful things, you know, but to use it to write something for me, no. I've never used it to write a video. I've used it to generate ideas to see if it could come up with anything, which, by the way, it's awful at doing. It doesn't understand your channel, your personality. It doesn't understand those things because it's AI. But sort of just like creating a system, like you said, Alvaro, that you're proud of your work, that you created like a possible, you know, AI, and you want to show it off to the world or whatever, and, you know, maybe people would be interested in that type of technology. I think it's important to be aware of it, especially in the movie industry where, you know, they just had a strike about all of this. You know, if you're a VFX artist, you're in this era where you're like, oh shit, like what do I do now? You know, like, is this going to be an issue for me in the future? So they went on strike and tried to solve all those things, and they got some of it, but some of it's still up in the air. I'm sure somewhere down the line it's going to get twisted. You know, the words of the contract are going to get switched, and all of a sudden they're going to be allowed to, you know, generate whatever the hell they want without crediting and things like that, because it's just like a free pass to do what you want with someone else's artwork, because that's where it's coming from. AI is not capable of creating its own work. It doesn't happen. It can interpret new works, but every single line that comes from it, every single line of code that comes from it is from something else. So again, go watch that video. And always shameless plug. But, you know, going back to sort of like, it's crazy for Keanu Reeves, especially because somebody who isn't even on social media is now being portrayed on social media without, well, I'm sure he's aware of it, to be honest, or at least somebody on his team is aware of it. On the TikTok that's called Unreal Keanu Reeves, or Unreal Keanu. Unreal is the engine that they use. So this isn't AI like deepfake or anything like that. This is like someone modeled him through Unreal Engine, which is more art than it is just generating it. It is very talented, I'll give it that. But, you know, maybe somebody from his team might have realized that this was happening and said, okay, you kind of have to stop doing this, even though it's rather harmless, because there hasn't been a post in over a year and a bit. So maybe it finally caught up, or maybe the person just decided, I'm done doing it. Although, to be honest, it was making millions of views. The most viewed video on that is 134 million, which is crazy. Yeah. Which is absurd, even for TikTok standards. That's a lot of views, but impressive from the art style.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's art. It's such a fine line to talk about, because like, yes, it's art, but yes, it's tarnishing someone's reputation that he's been building up for years and years. So, yeah, tricky subject.
So we've strayed a little bit from John Wick or whatever. Well, I thought we'd just continue to keep straying from John Wick even further. Are there any of the movies that you've watched Keanu Reeves star in that you were particularly just enjoyed in general?
Speed.
Yeah, okay, yeah, fair. Speed is a very, very good movie. Love
But
Speed.
like, other than Speed and the Matrix movies,
Dude,
none are coming to mind for me.
oh my god, there's this movie where he plays a lawyer, and like,
yeah, it's The Whole Truth or something like that.
yeah,
Yeah, with what's that guy? What's the actor's name? He's well known. Here, I'll pull it up.
I completely forgot, but I remember seeing that. I think I saw it during like lockdown or something like that, and I was like,
kind of ass.
it was.
It is. It's actually it's not a good movie. I was gonna make a video on it, and I wrote no. I was gonna make a video, and then I did Exposed instead.
It's
There it is.
oh yeah, he was in Exposed as well.
He was in Exposed.
It's
yeah.
true.
Go watch the video. I'm about up to 4 plugs so far. Oh, speaking of plugs, real quick before I forget, go check out our sponsor of today's episode, movieposters.com. As they got all your posters, all your posters.
Nice.
What a plug. They have all your posters, real and reprinted at different prices. You get as cheap as $24, almost full-size prints. They're fantastic. They're great. Canadian business out in Toronto. They have a shop actually if you'd like to go and check them out if you're nearby. But go check them out. Use code Forgotten15 for 15% off your entire order. And yeah, tell them we sent you. But yeah, no, Exposed is like an awful movie, and we talked about it on the channel. It's just one of those movies that you kind of go, what the fuck happened? But The Whole Truth, yeah, it's such a strange movie for him to be in, because he's like not really a lawyer, and it's Jim Belushi, by the way, is the actor I was thinking about. I don't really like the subject of the movie. I didn't really like the trial is interesting, but it's just so like the courtroom. It's a courtroom drama. If you haven't watched it, Will.
I've never heard of this.
It's a courtroom drama. It's it's sort of like he's trying to get he's trying to like present his case while we get flashbacks, but like there's a bit of a twist, stuff like that. It's not terribly done, but the entire story itself really isn't like that great.
Yeah, it's kind of just a push. It's just pushing to try to get you to like want to watch the whole thing, pretty much.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's
But-
not Keanu's worst performance, to be fair. That's safe for Exposed.
Okay.
Actually, that's not his fault.
Wasn't there a movie where they remade it very recently? Where
I'm trying to think of the title. It just came to my mind too.
Yeah, it's like a comedy movie.
Like Ned. Is his name Ned in it?
Like his older stuff when he was younger.
Yeah,
But
and
they
they made
remade it.
I don't know if they remade it. I think they just made a second
or
one.
Sequel.
Yeah, they made a
it came out
sequel.
like maybe 2
Oh, you're
years
talking
ago.
about Bill and Ted?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the first one's great. Second one's subpar. Third one's awful. Yeah, no, I agree.
There's a third.
Yeah, it's a third one. Yeah, there's a third. It's
Nice.
Bill and Ted Save the Music, Save something. I forgot what it's called. It was like right before John Wick 4, or Face the Music.
Oh yeah.
Ted
That's
Face the
what it was.
Music. He did that, and then he played Johnny Silverhand in Cyberpunk in the same year. So,
Of course.
He was in Cyberpunk?
have
Wait.
you played it?
Oh my god. I'm literally thinking of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. As you said that, I'm like, where the hell is he in Spider-Man? I'm sorry.
What?
Whoops.
No, the only movie that I shamelessly have to say that I haven't watched, unfortunately, is Point Break. I still haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
Ooh, it's good.
I haven't seen it either.
It's good.
but
It's good.
Yeah, I've heard great things.
I did not like the remake that they made of it.
Mm.
I preferred the older one. It's like it's another action jam-packed film, right? And like he plays like an undercover cop. Is he the undercover? Yeah, he's the undercover cop and basically just trying to catch like a gang of like thieves. Basically, they do very elaborate like heists and they do like crazy stunts. And so he has to gain their trust as an undercover cop and do all those crazy stunts too. It's actually not that bad. It's pretty good. It's actually pretty good. Actually, yeah, for an older movie. I like now that I'm remembering it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, it's decently well done. The remake was not as best. Yeah, I mean, he wasn't even in the remake, so why am I talking about it? But whatever.
Did you guys watch that movie with him and Winona Ryder? It's called where is it? I'm
Gravity?
scrolling through all his. What's
Honestly,
it called?
I don't know.
They go to
a
a wedding, or they both go to a friend's wedding, a mutual friend. And then it's like a romance, but it's really not, like, the chemistry's not there, and it's really funny actually. And like even they in like their interviews are like, yeah, it's just was kind of awkward. Which is really funny. Like they're fully like self-aware that it wasn't like that great of a movie.
At least they're not trying to sell it.
I watched that like not long after I watched John Wick. I was like, I'm on a Keanu grind. Like I'm gonna watch all his like movies now. And then that came up, and I went, oh, this is not good. Where the hell is it?
Was the point of your question for us to be like, yeah, his movies really aren't that good? That's what it seems to be turning out
Anything?
into.
Okay, honestly, like I'm looking through his catalog here, and like his younger acting is all right, but he got after Bill and Ted, he got typecast very quickly, which it's hard to, because Bill and Ted was pretty popular at the time. Actually, it was very popular at the time. It did extremely well. It came out in '89, so just before the '90s, and like it's a fun movie. It's very interesting. It's very like you look at that, you watch during that, you expect it during that era. Good stuff. Overall fun. Creativity is good. The CGIs and like the green screen effects are pretty damn good for the time. A lot of set design actually, more than actual practical visual effects, because it's 89, so they can only push so far. But after that, he kind of got a little bit typecasted, and he tried to do like a little bit of romance, stuff like that, and pull a little bit further away from that. But then, he does okay. He gets his break with Point Break. Pun. And then Speed is obviously like huge for him, going into action now, and it's like, oh, okay, like he's got sort of like that ability, and then he did a few other things here and there in between, and then The Matrix came, obviously, and then like everyone was like, oh shit, like he knows action, like he's got this. And after Matrix, I'm looking at it here, there's not much before the second one where it's like, oh, he's doing action again. Like he did like The Replacements, which is like a feel-good sports movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is not that good.
It's okay for
they
what
play
it
it
is.
every year around the Super Bowl on TV.
Yeah.
Oh man,
But then
That's a throwback.
he does Matrix, Reloaded or whatever, and then Revolution, which not great. But then after that, there's no Matrix for him till god awful one
Till the
in
terrible
2020 or whatever it was, 2021.
Yeah, we just pretend it doesn't exist.
Ah,
Yeah,
Honestly, there's like one Matrix movie. Let's be real here. The other's like,
I mean, I watched the first two recently in the last 2 months. First one's obviously great. Second one is not as bad as people make it out to be.
It's not that bad, yeah.
It really isn't.
I really don't remember it being like. I think it's maybe just because of it's such a steep fall from the first one, because the first one's an all-time classic.
They did some really cool things in the second one though that they did not even attempt in the first one, significantly better. There were some really cool things that they did, especially for the technology as well. Early 2000s, they did a very good job.
Was the second one when she jumps off the or she falls from the building or something?
Yeah, he's
And he
panicking
catches
that
her?
she's falling.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one where he Superman's out of there,
Yeah.
where he's basically Superman.
Yeah, and then he pretty much just goes and takes the bullet out. Is that the second one?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
That's the same one.
Yes.
Where he,
Maybe I just have to revisit them, because I really don't remember the second one being that good.
No, listen, it's not nearly as good. The story's rather compelling, actually. It's an interesting, unique story there. And honestly, the last one that we got in 2020s, wow, you can say that now. Is in the 2020s, it's not horrible on all aspects. It's just, I think people were kind of just why did you even make another one? What's the point? It kind of does a disservice to at least the first one or the second one, or what the Matrix franchise stands for. You kind of just ruined it now. You'd be really pushing the limit of
Shameless
bringing
plug
who
coming.
back.
Nostalgia.
Pretty much. I mean, okay.
It's the only reason why they made it. Let's be real.
I mean, obviously they were running out of ideas, right?
They thought it would make money.
They thought it would make money, right? I don't even know I think only one of the Wachowski sisters worked on it.
It's not both of them. Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
So we got the worst half. No. Listen, at 5.7 on IMDb, you struggle here. Okay, it's just too bad. It's too bad. Keanu decided to just give up. Clearly. I don't know. We'll see what he does next. He doesn't have to do anything else. He's part of the Cyberpunk franchise now. He's got his role in that, and then John Wick is supposedly over, but not over. We don't know. We'll see. Give it another 2 years and they'll just bring him back. See, that's my problem. That's the whole point of the video I made about this nonsense bullshit that fucking, there's always a possibility somebody can come back. Oh, it's a multiverse. Shut the fuck up. Just end the damn series. I should have just said that in the video. Man, bring me to the podcast. Unhinged, man. But seriously, why waste time and resources of just tell a new story. God damn it.
Well, dude, they know it works. They know it worked in the past. They just want
it's
money.
our fault, though. I know it's our fault. Okay, it's not my fault. I don't go watch these movies, but it's your faults. No, but seriously, when are we finally gonna take a break from just reusing material and actually come up with good?
Sounding like Scorsese over here.
Yeah,
he says exactly that.
Well, yeah, because he's a guy who's
makes original movies anymore.
Doesn't he always pushes for new stories and always creates something new.
It's all sequel, remakes, adaptations.
I understand. If there's a need for a sequel to a story that yes, we should. Oh, there was a comment I saw a while ago about, I forgot what franchise, or not franchise, it was a single movie, and everyone was like, when's the sequel? And everyone was like, shut the fuck up, there's no need for it for this type of movie. But somehow they always find a way to make another one, and then it's always shit. Almost always.
But then they make a third one, and the third one's good, so it's worth it in the end.
Yeah,
it's a half and half.
I guess.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I guess this John Wick franchise is sort of that scenario, right? You kind of watch the first one, you go, there's no way they make another one. And then they do, and you're like, oh, okay, it's not that bad. And then the third one is oh, shit, okay, this is actually pretty good. And then the fourth one just, yeah. See, 3 is the perfect number. Just end it at 3. What are you doing? I don't know, man.
I heard something that Disney's gonna remake every movie that they have, every classic every 10 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Every
I think it was an in-Walt's will.
Yeah.
For them to remake every classic movie, like you said, so that like each generation can grow up with these stories.
That's it. Yeah.
So that's why now
Okay,
all the cartoons
you know
are
what?
being turned into live actions.
Yeah.
You know,
And it's gonna be something different in like
You know
30
what?
years.
okay. From that perspective alone, it's fine. Like these much older movies that are really like not that long and they're very simplified. Most of them, you
They're
know,
making them longer.
they're
Yeah.
making them longer. Like they're going way past what they need to be.
Like The Lion King is like the live action
The-
2019 is like 2 hours plus.
Yeah.
The original one's like an hour
Hour.
30.
Hour 30. Yeah. Now they're making Mufasa too.
But the thing is
Mufasa
that
now, like yeah.
I think they're starting too early. I literally talked about this in the video about nostalgia. Go watch the video. But I literally said what will happen when our generation decides we're done with like these superhero movies? And I think I pissed off some people when I said that. And I'll verbatim quote what I said because I practiced my lines.
I love
Literally, I said, what will happen when we get tired of watching these movies? Not necessarily that we're tired of like superheroes and whatever it is. It's just that as we grow up, as our generation grows up, we will have less and less time to watch these movies. We won't have time to go to the theaters each and every time these movie comes out. So what happens when we stop watching? And, you know, what are you going to start? You're going to have to start somewhere new. You're going to have to start making movies for the next generation of people. Yet you keep going back to, like, you know, let's bring back Robert Downey Jr. That's not a service to my cousin, 10 years old, first of all, doesn't even watch movies, which is an indication that clearly something's going wrong. But anyways.
He's too busy playing Fortnite.
No, not even. You just watch YouTube videos. Valid. Watch the channel.
Oh my God.
Subscribe. He's not. He wouldn't want to watch it because he doesn't watch movies. But like, you know, it's just like he doesn't. Let's say he did watch movies. He doesn't care. You know, he won't care about Robert Downey Jr. He doesn't know who the fuck Robert Downey Jr. is. You know, he only cares about maybe these newer superheroes that maybe if they like, for God's sakes, what's the last new superhero we got? Fucking Blue Beetle. Like come on, like seriously, like Blue Beetle wasn't horrible. It was actually pretty good. I
It was
enjoyed
one
it.
of the better
I think
DC movies.
It was actually, yeah.
Yeah.
It was actually not that bad.
I think one of my reviews was like, oh, it's very like early 2000, you know, comedy, you know, like first Iron Man type thing. Like
Yeah,
it had
first
that
Iron
type
Man,
of vibe to it. I enjoyed it from that perspective. But if I were like somebody new to the superhero genre, if I was younger and I was watching it, I'd be like, oh shit, that's pretty cool.
It's like all these new superheroes that you're mentioning, they're like trying to create like a new Avengers and stuff like that. Like the new Avengers that are coming out, what is it, like Avengers is it Secret Wars or there's one before
Doomsday's first.
Doomsday, yeah.
First,
Like they're supposed to have all the new superheroes on it and obviously include like Spider-Man and stuff like that.
yeah, but why?
Just wait till
Yeah.
they make the Young Avengers.
But why?
Why? Because they are comics and they are adapting comics onto the big
Well,
screen. Because it makes them hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars.
There's so many things that they could do, right? Like,
But why?
but why try to do something interesting?
That's gonna make you like, let's say 50 million or maybe even lose you money when you can make the same thing over and over and over again and it makes you billions in profit.
That's the issue. I don't mind if
But that's
you.
the argument, right?
That's the argument is obviously, yeah, money, right? They always want to make their money. You fucking didn't cite me from the video, but like, this is what I said. But like, you don't even have to watch the video anymore. Just watch this. But like at the end of the day, like you should be at least attempting to do something new with those characters. Fine, you want to reuse characters, yes, but I already know that this new like Doomsday comes in and like. First of all, like half of us are gonna be like, "Holy fuck!" Like that's just Robert Downey Jr. Like no one's gonna be able to be like, "Holy shit, it's Doomsday!" Like he'll be good. He's a good actor. He'll pull it off. But like, my brain's still gonna be like, Iron Man. He's Iron Man. He's Iron Man. He's Strauss.
He's Strauss.
Let's go back on track, boys. Bring back the fucking streak. Oppenheimer
God.
references back in track.
Jesus Christ.
Boy.
Follow-up episode, anybody?
Oppenheimer Part 3.
Part 3, 1 year after release? Question mark? No, but like, yeah, it's like maybe I've actually run into the point where I'm done with like Marvel and
Yeah,
superhero movies for that matter.
Honestly, it's fair because like I remember during the lockdown, I was like, you know what? I have nothing better to do. I'm gonna rewatch every single movie from the MCU, and I was like skipping a few because I'm like, okay, It's the whole same thing over again. It's just the same character. It's a new character. It's just the same story, same character, different story, whatever. It's like it's always a bunch of same stuff on repeat. I think your cat's having a nightmare.
My cat's having a nightmare.
A little bit.
Damn.
Okay.
It's all the Marvel talk.
Yeah.
It's all the Marvel.
Like realizing, oh fuck, we're screwed.
But like, they have all these platforms like Disney Plus where they they pretty much are forcing you to watch like, what is this new movie coming out? What is it? Captain America.
Yeah.
Is that the new one that's coming
the
out?
new
Yeah.
one?
Valentine's
Like
Day.
you're gonna have to watch the whole show, and obviously they promote their show for it. You know, like you have to watch their show, you have to watch their old stuff just to watch the new films, and it gets so boring, but they make so much money out of it. Like there's no stopping them.
People
Yeah.
call it like I have to do homework to go
Yeah.
to the movie theater.
Mm,
It's
Yeah.
like,
yeah.
yeah, I guess.
Like I recently went to go watch like what is it, Deadpool Wolverine with my girlfriend. She's never seen any X-Men movie. She's never seen any like Deadpool movie or like whatever, like X-Men in general, like Wolverine at all, you know? And I just pretty much just showed her like Logan, and I was like, "Just watch this and enjoy,"
Yeah.
and then watch the rest, because like that's what I heard is like gonna be the most important one. But like, she went in, and obviously she missed so many jokes, she missed so many different things because they're specific
There's
to
so
like the
many
audience.
jokes at Fox.
Yeah,
It's
because
crazy.
it's you need to be such a specific audience to understand everything and have to have seen everything. Like she basically was like, I got the gist of it because like obviously like she's not a dumbass, and like they're making these movies straightforward, but like you just need to have an understanding of the MCU, and it's like I shouldn't have to make her watch a movie just so that she can enjoy this one, unless it's like the previous one, and I didn't even have to show her Deadpool 1 or 2. Like she understood
I
Deadpool.
was gonna say if you have to show her like one or two movies, fine. If you have
Yeah.
to show her the whole Fox X-Men universe, the Deadpools, all of the MCU, arguably Loki, the TV show, because the
Yeah.
TVA is involved.
Yeah,
That's true. Yeah.
Like you're looking at hours and hours of content to prepare for one movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's getting ridiculous at this point.
Yeah. So it's the same thing with me. My girlfriend didn't see any X-Men. We watched Deadpool's and then Logan. But then like they were making jokes about Fox, and I was laughing because I was getting them, and she was like, "What's funny?" I was like, "I'll tell you later," because like she just doesn't get it.
Yeah, like I mean, spoiler alert, whatever, Blade's there, and like Elektra and Gambit, and obviously these are
I
all.
was hyped.
I was hyped too.
I was like, "Oh shit!"
And then my girlfriend's like, "Who are these guys?" Like, bro, you're putting characters like nostalgia, whatever, but like, bro, it's fucking like so long ago. Like, change it up. You know, it's got to change at some point. Honestly, Alex, I'm on your side. At first, I was like, you know what, like maybe I was thinking in my head like, you know what, maybe like they just got to remake it. Like, I'm happy with as many Spider-Man movies as they're gonna make. You know, I'm happy with as many Batman movies as they're gonna make. But like, I guess to a point where just stop, man.
Yeah, no, that's very fair. I think, yeah, I think we're at the point where it's like, it's hard to like justify all these movies because we're at the point now where like, in the early 2000s, you were getting superhero movies and you had sequels to those, but you didn't need any prior context to any of them. You didn't need prior context to Dark Knight. You didn't need prior context to Spider-Man 2. You go watch them. There's very simple. There's a hero, there's a villain, and there's there's an ethical issue in the middle of it for both of those movies. You know, it's like, okay, that's easy. I know that. You know, it's like, so where was the pivot? What year? I'm genuinely asking, like, what point do you think this sort of just switched? This will be the last thing we talk about.
Well, it's Iron Man. It's the start of the MCU, because before that, what movies did you have with superheroes? You had multiple Batmans, few Spider-Mans, a lot of Supermans, Fantastic Four. There was 2 movies.
Honestly, I think that was like in between Iron Man and stuff like that.
But then Iron Man came, and it's like, oh, let's connect all these stories. That's where the pivot came. Before that, they were just like, oh, you want to make a Spider-Man movie? Go for it. Oh, you want Superman? Go for it. Make your own like closed-in series. Make your own trilogy. It's not connected to anything else. But now it's all these, you have to make a spin-off series and sequel, and this character needs an origin story, and that's where it kind of just completely loses focus.
Honestly, I don't think we're gonna see an end to it anytime soon.
No.
Because like there's hundreds and hundreds and even thousands of comics where like they're the whole inspiration for this whole thing, right? Yeah, they can keep going for as long as they want. They have an infinite amount of content, i.e. whatever infinite multiverses. Like, they're going to keep on going for as long as they want. And, like, honestly, there's always going to be people that want to watch it. Always. Right? I mean, like, Deadpool Wolverine, people were lining up to see it, right? It beat records for the other two Deadpool movies. And, like...
It's breaking all the R movie records.
Exactly. And, like, I mean, as you were speaking about, like, you know, origin movies and, like, when do you need to watch and not watch a movie? And, like, I was thinking of Shang-Chi. And, like, that was, I think, a movie that you didn't need any information for. And it was actually pretty decently good, you know, for, like, an MCU movie. It was decently well made. It was... You needed no prior knowledge to it other than MCU.
But, like,
and that's it.
Not even.
Not even, yeah. You could just watch it and enjoy it, you know? Like, origin stories are great, but as soon as it, like, they connect everything... Dude, it's never gonna stop. You ask for an end date, there's no end date. There's no end date. We're doomed.
You thought Endgame was this big finale? Nope. Doomsday and Secret Wars is gonna be bigger, and they're just now starting to talk about mutants. Like, they've just done the Avengers. They're gonna start the X-Men now, which is...
It's like Fox had the ownership too, and same thing with Spider-Man. And like, well, Sony had ownership of Spider-Man, and now it's over to Marvel because Marvel is Disney, and Disney has money. They're just, it's a never-ending cycle, dude. Never-ending.
Sorry to break it to you.
You look so sad right now.
Damn, that's too bad. I was hoping all superhero movies would end forever immediately. Yep, I just hate them so much. No, I don't know,
Just
man.
wait till they restart the MCU. He's gonna...
I restart the like.
It's like
I
just
don't know.
recast everyone.
Like, all right, Iron Man's coming out in 2056. New actors.
Oh my god, I believe it though.
Same
Tom
story.
Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
Stay tuned for that episode
Oh
2056. No, I'd be fucking retired by then. Let's go subscribe so I can retire before that comes out, and I don't have to make a video on it. In my near 60s, fucking making a video on Iron Man.
Marvel.
Oh my
Fuck that. They're gonna bring back Robert Downey Jr.'s fucking his carcass to the fucking Jesus. Who is gonna play him? Who's gonna play him? It's just it's like generations of the fucking family.
His son just keeps going.
His son, but his like son's son is actually like, holy shit,
dude! Literally, like, just tiny little thing to end it up. Like, during Deadpool Wolverine, Ryan Reynolds makes like a little comment where he's like, to Hugh Jackman, like, all right, Marvel owns you now. Like, ever since this movie, you're gonna be in every single fucking like MCU movie. We own you till you're 90. Like, you're not leaving. And I feel like honestly, there probably like is like so many contracts where they literally just cannot leave, can't do shit.
Because they sign on for like 6 movie deals.
100%.
And it's like, ugh, then you have to appear in this spinoff and appear in this guy. It's like, come on.
Yeah, and obviously they're not gonna say no because they're getting like fucking $100 million, whatever. Okay, well, maybe not $100 million, but I mean, like, over the long run, maybe. Yeah.
Robert Downey?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have to ask you guys, since we're here, one last thing. Okay.
I love it.
Because for who are listening right now, you're gonna see a video about this because I'm gonna split this into its own video because I just thought about it. I talked about Liam Neeson 2 months ago or so, saying something along the lines of he needs to be saved because he's been doing like shitty ass movies for the longest time, and basically I just said like it'd be nice for him to do like something serious. I want to ask you about Robert Downey Jr. and like, so we know now he's back in the MCU, right? He's, you know, Doctor Doom. Yoo-hoo. Fuck, he's getting paid probably like, I think I read somewhere like 80 million or something like that, which is crazy. Is that 80 million for just the character in the first movie, or is that like over the span of several movies, like you said, Will? Could be, you know, a contract of like appear in 6 movies.
I'm guessing for
80 million.
him it would be like 2 or 3.
It'd probably be something like that. And, you know, so my question to you is, why would he return to this? Genuinely, why would he return to me? To me. Why would he return to?
He's secretly so happy he's back. Return to me.
But why would he return to the MCU after seemingly finally getting out, going, and you know, performing in you know, Oppenheimer, winning his Oscar, and then out of nowhere. When I saw that like the announcement was that he was back, I got it from a friend of mine. He showed me that, and I go, yeah, it's fake. I went, that's not real. Like, why would he return to this role after, in my opinion, getting out, finally being able to do something else that he wants to do? I don't know.
Honestly, I feel like number one is money, and number two, it's like, I mean, honestly, I was gonna say like he wants to be known for something, but he's already known for Iron Man. Like, dude, like, what the hell? The only thing I can think of is just straight up money. Like, I don't know what else it could be, or maybe he's just bored.
It's his family, in a sense as well, right? Like, Marvel made him, and now I don't know. He wants to go back and have fun with his friends. Like it sounds so stupid. It sounds like an Adam Sandler movie. Like, he just wants to go back and have fun with people he's made movies for a fucking decade at this point. Because he doesn't need money. He's already gotten so much from all the Iron Man movies and stuff.
No, definitely not. But maybe it's like, like setting himself, like his generation up or something like that. But like, dude, it gets to a point where like he doesn't need to go back. And like, maybe he just wants some closure with a couple actors and stuff like that. Like you said, he just wants to have fun with them. Like, I would love to see, Peter Parker seeing him and all of a sudden be like, Mr. Stark, and then start crying. And like, obviously, I'd love.
Yeah, it will happen.
I'd love to see something like that. It sounds crazy, but like they could have just ended it where it ended off, and like he doesn't need to come back. It's just, I feel like honestly, number one thing is just money. Like, what other reason do you have for coming back to like such a massive franchise, especially when your character was killed off so perfectly, and like it ended off, with the whole, lineup of 20 fucking plus movies just for your character to die? Like, dude, take that W, like, leave.
Yeah. I mean, at least he's not coming back as Iron Man. Yeah, true. At least it's, I mean,
actually, I feel like it makes it worse that he's not coming back as Iron Man. Low-key.
Well, it's because what I think is going to happen is, this could get so nerdy so fast. In some comics, Tony Stark becomes Doctor Doom.
Yeah, I've seen
some
that.
universes, and not Victor Von Doom. So I'm guessing they're going to be in some universe where it's a Tony Stark variant that becomes Doctor Doom, and then they're going to kill him off, and then like there's going to be the real Victor Von Doom that's going to appear. So like, he's going to be there for 2 movies. He's going to appear in Fantastic Four, and then he's going to die in Doomsday. That's my guess. Then they're going to have another actor for, I don't know.
It's
regardless, it's stupid.
It's stupid.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like it either. And like, I have one of my friends who's like one of his favorite like superheroes is Iron Man, and obviously RDJ playing him was like, holy crap, this is like the perfect casting, perfect acting for this specific character, and like he was obsessed with him. He loved Iron Man. And then as soon as like I heard the news of RDJ, I called him and I was like, yo, you heard the news? He's like, yeah, what the fuck? He's like, I know he's gonna play like an amazing role because RDJ, it's fucking RDJ, of course. But like, just leave it as is. Like, Iron Man's fucking Iron Man. RDJ was Iron Man. That was the whole thing. He literally created that character. It's like, you're not gonna look at fucking Daniel Radcliffe and be like, oh, that's the guy from Swiss Army Man. No, that's fucking Harry Potter, dude. like, no, of course. Like, it's the same thing with fucking, RDJ.
He's stuck to that character. I don't know.
Money.
What do you think?
Yeah.
I guess I'll give my last opinion. Just, it's a shame. It really is for a guy who's extremely talented. I've said it in prior podcasts and videos about, just the fact that Marvel has so many incredible actors who can do so much, and yet they're not really being used to their full potential in Marvel movies. It must be fun. Yeah, you're right. It must be fun to be a part of these. I'm sure it seems like clockwork to them. They've been doing it for so long. They're used to the whole CGI on a rope and stuff like that. They're having fun. It's like a playground for some of these guys, and that's fine. But it's just too bad. Speaking of just the feeling of this guy is incredibly talented, and just I feel like he could maybe make a turn to do more with his talent and maybe do one more serious movie, but
talking as if like this is what he's doing for the rest of his life. I'm sure he'll do other serious movies.
I'm sure, yeah, but like he's for sure gonna be stuck to this for a long time, at least 5 years. That's my guess, because like these movies are like,
Yeah.
you know, like
Yeah.
you said it yourself, he's gonna be there for 2-3 movies.
That's
like
at
those
least
2-3 movies,
5-6 years for
Yeah.
sure.
and like I mean, you're saying you want to see him in another serious role, dude. Did you see Doctor Dolittle? He was crazy serious in that. Like,
That's fair.
but-
That's fair.
nah, honestly, it's like, yeah. I don't even know what to say anymore because I'm fucking done with it.
Yeah.
So go watch John Wick.
Go watch John Wick, Keanu Reeves. No, I'm joking, but yeah.
All right. We'll end it there. For everybody listening, thank you for listening today and paying attention to whatever the hell happened in the last 30 minutes. We kind of rambled about some other things, but maybe it's an idea that we can do in the future. Just talk about trending topics and things like that and just have a conversation about if we disagree or agree on those things. I'm sure we could easily find things to disagree on. I don't know. We're
Yeah, I'm sure.
yeah, you're sure?
I'm sure.
Okay. Challenge accepted. But yeah, thanks for
Timothy
listening.
Chalamet?
Thanks for watching.
Timothy Chalamet? Sorry. I cut you off.
Gonna
I'm
start
sorry.
off immediately.
I'm sorry.
Go check out all the videos on the channel. You can take a look at them and watch them all at once if you want. Kind of like an MCU, but for Forgotten Popcorn. You know, they all link together. They really don't. Or not that creative, nor do I care that much. I'm not getting paid $80 million to do it. So subscribe. Check out the sponsor, movieposters.com. Use code Forgotten15 at checkout to get 15% off your entire order. All right. Have a good one.